Sid, what a pleasure to sit with you. After so many years, we were together. Wow, it tells my age. I was with you in 2009, and then 2011, in New York, and now you are the chair of this fabulous conference. Like I said to other people, it's not an easy task, but you are the leader. It's very, very challenging, and at the end of the day, very exhilarating experience to go through this. So you have been through many conferences. You ran a couple of conferences. How is this different than the other ones?
Thank you, Mateen. Always a pleasure to get connected. Yes, so I was involved in conferences in 2009, 11, and 13 as part of the PanIIT board. After which I thought I had retired from PanIIT. We had not had an in-person conference in 8 years. And when PanIIT decided that we needed to do a conference in DC, I had the opportunity to step up and be the chair to get it done, right? And we wanted to do this conference in a scale that has never been done before, because there was a deep need and yearning for in-person conferences. So this conference was a lot more challenging, if you will, because the inertia that we had to face in the post-COVID world of people coming together, and people may have forgotten the value of in-person connection, because so many people are used to doing living and connecting in the virtual world. But once we got over that hurdle, it was an exhilarating experience, as you said, because once the pent-up demand was released, we had 3 sold-out pre-conference events that we had to increase by 25%, and we had a fully sold-out conference several days in advance. For the first time, PanIIT has had a conference that is fully sold out at 1,500 max capacity, and we opened it up online, and we had tens of thousands logging on online, streaming live all across the globe.
Before I go to the 3 events that you mentioned, I wanted your take on building the team. When I say team, building the leadership team, I've spoken to some of your colleagues and friends who work with you, and they said it is Sid's emotional connect. Okay, we were happy to contribute financially and resources, but we didn't think that we would get involved, roll up our sleeves. So Sid wasn't content with the money part. He said, no, I need you to come and be part of this. So how was that, bringing the people that you felt were the right people, and rightly so, to execute this conference?
Great question. And the beauty of it is I'm used to building and scaling fast-growing companies. Credence, my company, fastest growing for 12 straight years, largest privately held company in the GovCon sector. But that's different, because you work for people who know they work for you. You can tell them what to do, right? In a volunteer-run organization, nobody works for each other. And in a way, if somebody's missing, you cannot fire them, because they never worked for you in the first place. So there has to be an emotional connection, and there has to be a lot of empathy. There has to be a lot of understanding that every time they're volunteering their time, including mine, I'm taking time away from their families and their work. And the appreciation is important, the emotional connection, and it takes time to build that connection. And once you have that, then you are connected deeply. People care, they're accountable, they're stepping up in ways I've never expected, but I'm very grateful for it. And we've created essentially as family. I've told them that we are connected by sweat, not by blood, and we'll have this relation for the rest of our lives. So what we pulled off.
Very well said. Now I want to come back to some milestones. 20th year of PanIIT, recognition by the US Congress. We had a fabulous event at the Rayburn House where it was acknowledged for the first time for an Indian organization and the volunteers of IIT. The flag was flown on the Capitol. Money instituted, $1 million cash prize to IEEE for J.C. Bose Award to finally recognize his due. And then we had the one at the event hosted by the U.S. Ambassador. So I don't want to steal the thunder from you, but this is what I learned from you and from others of the accomplishments. So if you can dissect and tell me a little bit about these accomplishments and what a moment of pride it is for all of us.
Absolutely. So the one thing about PanIIT is that we are well known within our community, the Indian community. For us, for the brand to be strong, we need to reach outside, go mainstream. And when we go mainstream, we also need to include the Indian Americans, which we are first and foremost. So the House Bill 256, 112th session of Congress, was very profound, because it talked about the valuable and significant contribution of Indian Americans and the graduates of IITs in every aspect of life in U.S. And I had the pleasure of co-writing it with the legislative, director of Congressman Raja Krishnamurti. Very grateful for it. The flag flown in the honor of IIT 2024 and the volunteers in the U.S. Capitol, signed by the architect of the Capitol, is very meaningful. The Indian ambassador's reception was amazing. And he actually gave us a question or a challenge of how can you use this to be a force for greater good. And that made me reflect too, as in IITians have been associated with innovation. We have created change that has affected every part of life. We have created billions in economic wealth, but that is not enough. In the world we live in today, the uncertain world, we have to ask, what are we doing to build a future and a better future for future generation? So this conference, essentially, the challenge that they put up is essentially the spirit of what this conference was that we've been planning for more than a year, and the fact that it came together, and same thing at the congressional reception. What we were challenged with is that how can U.S. and India work together to be an aspiration as the two successful democracies on what the rest of the world can aspire to, and how can IITians and technology and innovation be a source of that.
Yeah. And I also wanted your take on the award that was instituted in the honor of J.C. Bose, a legend who did not get his due at the right time.
That was very significant for anyone familiar with J.C. Bose, anyone familiar with Indian science. His recorded history of what he has done in the field of radio is well established. The award went to Marconi because in the pre-independence there was no way for Indians to get a patent under the British government, because he was also an employee of the British government. So Marconi got the award. Years later, the grandson of Marconi actually acknowledged that he did it before his grandfather. And now finally IEEE instituted the gold medal, which was previously called the Marconi Gold Medal. So it was instituted in the name of J.C. Bose, Sir J.C. Bose. Mani Bhaumik, who is the founder of LASIK, he's at 93 a brilliant man still. He created this endowment, and at this event we had the ambassador of Bangladesh present, because J.C. Bose was born in undivided India, which is now part of Bangladesh. So this was very touching for a lot of people, this recognition.
Yeah, indeed. I think it was, like I said, a moment of pride for all of us. Switching gears to your leadership at your company. You said you like building teams, you understand people well, and we switch gears from empathy and cajoling to, I won't say a demanding leader, but still you have to exude that relationship and the confidence with your team as well. So how are you different as a leader at your company?
Actually, interestingly, I have shaped everything I do in my life as a friend, as a family member, in the company, nonprofit world, in the same way. What works is servant leadership. You have to follow by leading. You have to show modesty, humility, and you have to hold your team accountable, but you also have to give them the freedom to make decisions. Decision making at Credence is quick. It's a very flat organization, and the way we have scaled without a formal structure to, again, one of the largest companies in the GovCon sector in a matter of 15 years is a testimony that first principles and basic principles of what, common sense of what leadership works: put your customer first, put your employee first, don't lead with profit, lead with impact, lead with results. That works, and I think Credence is a living proof of that.
Great. Thank you, Sid. On behalf of everyone who attended this conference, I've spoken to many of them over the last 3 days, including myself, for giving me this opportunity to come and network and be able to interview some great lineup of speakers. And by the way, I should mention that I have enjoyed every conference since 2009. Great lineup of speakers and great content that we create. You have done an awesome job. So again, kudos and congratulations to you, the leadership, and the entire set of 100 plus volunteers who put this together. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mateen, and thanks for recording these, because in soon, before we know it, it'll be PanIIT at 30. We will fondly look back at what we achieved at PanIIT at 20, and what this team has accomplished and given back to the IIT brand and to the Indian American community. So thanks for recording this.
My pleasure.
Okay.